If you go to use card, then the first thing we need to do in here is, of course, import in the order item. So we have access to the structure here. You should hover this and then you should see the correct one here. And it's doing the array correctly. Great. So once we have access to this, I want to do a few things before we actually start doing the specific part. So first of all, I want to create something called orders. So I'm going to make a ref and I'm going to use the generics and I'm going to use order items and pass them through, and it's an array. And let's see what it did here. And I'm going to remove this. And after this, the final one here, you're going to do your parentheses. And inside the parentheses, we're going to use JSON here, and we will parse it here so we can use the local storage. That's actually completely true, the next part. So we want to set up a system where we grab the information from the local storage. Since this is just orders, there isn't really a big security risk because it's not something specifically. We can do it smarter, but this is all right for an order system. So again, default, since we're using TypeScript, we can set a default over here, and that's what this part does here. So if this doesn't exist, then you default to an empty array. So just before I forget, make sure you export the orders down here so we have access to them outside of our function. So this is just where we will store our ordered items once it goes through the checkout. Next one is I'm going to add a watch. And this is I don't know if we call it a lifecycle hook, but this is something that makes sure that if a data changes in view, watch will track it and make sure it updates correctly whenever it's needed to do so. And the thing I want to check on is the orders. So make sure that the orders page here is updated correctly if there's a change. So there's no point or no chance of it not updating it correctly. Now, what did I type? Orders, and inside the orders here, we are going to pass through new orders. So I'll create this one here called new orders. That's just part of this watch here right now. And then set up your function structure for this part here. So it's just standard function structure from Vue, this one. But what we want to watch here is the local storage, set items, orders, and then the stringify version of it here. So we made sure everything is in correct order. But this is just to make sure that it watches the orders and updates it currently when there's a change to it. The final thing that I want to add here is the final thing I want to add here is something that has to be here. So before the closing parentheses, you just do a comma separation. You'll do a wrong button. You'll do a object, and then you'll write deep true. Deep : true. Now this part here is quite important because we have nested elements. So if we do not add this, and we have, if I hover this, you can see I have nested elements. I have ID, blah blah blah. The first part here, this is fine. It can watch these. But once we get to product here, order line products and inside, if you do not add deep true, it won't really update it. It only looks for changes inside the outer layer. So we have to attach this deep true to make sure that it goes into the array and then replaces only the parts that need to be changed inside the nested array instead of replacing the entire array. Groovy. Finally, we will add the function that will control the checkout. Checkout by here. By equals parentheses. There we go. Curly brackets. So this is our function that will control this one, and it already helps me with using the correct word almost. So we will create a const called new orders, and we'll close this object here. Whoopsie daisy, where did I click? I hate that. There we go. And before, I just want to check, here, the watch part, that's why it's probably red here, it's not imported. So make sure we import this watch. I forgot that. So scroll to the top, we have we import from Vue, and attach the watch here. And then you can go back down, and now the red lines is gone. Great. So inside the new order here, we're going to set up everything and how it's going to control throughout the flow. First off, we're going to use the order items, so the type we passed through, so it knows what to follow. And then in here we can start populating the specific thing. So Mongo has not the smartest solution for doing a order item, so order 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and then figuring out. It doesn't really have something like an auto increment from a SQL database, so we kind of have to just work with what we got right now. So in here I'm just going to do ID, and I'm going to use the template literals, and I'm going to do order. Sure, let's do this. So order, and then order value length +1. So really simple. But this again, every time you restart it, it will start from 0 or something like this. So it's not perfect, but it's here for now. Then order date, because that's one of the things we wrote in as well. We will do a to ISO string, and we will, oops, why is it doing something here? Let's see what it is. Object literal, maybe blah blah blah, but order date does not exist. Did you mean order data? So did I spell something wrong here? I did. So again, order date. Again, this is why TypeScript is good. Is actually good for you, because now I just found the order. I could have like been wondering why this wouldn't work for a long time, but right now it just said, hey man, this doesn't exist. So that's why a good place for this to work. Anyways, next one is total, and that will be the card total. So we'll just call in the function we already created above, which is great. We can use that here. Then we will do the order status, and that's just a processing. So starting, we will do a order number, here, which will be the, let's go, not order line, order number, and we will do orders.value.length +1. And then we will have username, and again we'll just always John Doe for now, but you can grab the information from, spell this correctly. You can grab your information from Mongo, because we already have access to it through when we log in. So that is set up. And then we will do order line here. And we're going to use the card because that's where the information was from all the items. And we will use this to map out the things we have in it. So using map, we have a iterative name here. We will do that. We will do the parentheses. I will enter. I will do curly brackets for the object inside. And the first object in here will be the, I'm going to go back to this line. It's easier to read like this. The first one will be product here. Product. And this is an object that we have in our system. So it has a ID, which is item ID. It has a name, which is item name. We'll have item price. We'll have item URL. We'll have stock. We'll have stock. There we go, item stock. And we will have is hidden and discount. Discount percentage is hidden. And is, I'll do, this is created by, this will be, these is not entirely correct. We need to change these. So stock is actually not this, it is just 0. And we will have is hidden, that is just false. I was a little bit too fast with the AI helper. False, and is hidden. Oh, that's actually the one. Is hidden, that is false. Discount percent is not false, it's 0. And the created by will just be an empty string here. So that's the structure for this one. And we also, if I hover this, it probably says something with the quantity. Yes, so you can see here it says quantity is declared here. inside the interface, but we're not using it. So immediately after this here, we'll just do quantity and item quantity for this one. Great. And I can hover again, and it says description here. I didn't actually add that, so let's do description, item, let's just keep it blank. Why not? Like so. And now we have a correct structure for the order line here. So the final part we need to do is go here just before you end this, this function here. So that one should be the one you're just before. So let's do the final thing where we actually take our information, our order, and then we push it. So we'll grab the orders and value because it's a ref. We will do a push because we're using a array, push, and we will push the new order that we have up here. So we will take the information we have in this entire block of code here. That's whatever is in the basket, and then we will push this to the orders array so we can use it. For a good measure, we will do value, and we will just empty or clear out the cart after a checkout, so it's empty whenever the next one goes, or you have to do more. We will set the cart with the value. We will do a console log just to check. Console log, orders, order value. It's not close. I'll just do order value instead. Orders value. And then finally we will do local storage, and we will do orders, and we will stringify them in. So this is the setup for the function here, and we of course need to export the checkout by. So we'll just do this and paste. Oops, that's not correct. I'll just write it out, I guess. Checkout by. We'll save. I'm going to go to carts view, and now this is yellow, and this should be yellow as well, and there's no error, so that is being imported correctly. And we'll click save, and then we'll go test in the next one.